Hey,
Ah!
everybody. That's
Hi.
two of us. I think we got one more.
We
Look.
got one more.
Oh,
Where'd he
he's
go?
gone. He's
Hi.
gone. He's back. Uh, Welcome aboard, everybody. This is the Tabletop Express, and you are now participating in Call Aboard.
Doo 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 doo.
This
Right,
is our
Twilight
live
Zone.
call-in show, guys. Our live call-in show. We've been doing this a while now. It's exciting. Having a good time. I know we always get a great showing for this, but
It's been over a year of these
yeah. Well, it started unofficially
in March.
in March last year, right? It was
It
the
did.
the unofficial test run that we kind of did.
Yeah,
So
yeah. We
it was
we we
unofficial.
we winged it. We wunged it.
We wonged it.
We wunged it.
Well, can I first actually start out by saying I know he's probably not going to be joining us tonight, but I want to wish a very special happy birthday to Mr. Rao of Mr. Rao Gaming. I know he's celebrating by probably playing some board games, spending time with family, friends, but we did want to make sure we wished him a happy birthday tonight. So go say hi and say happy birthday to him if you get the chance to everybody.
We wish you a happy birthday.
We
Right.
wish you a happy birthday
We wish you a happy birthday.
and lots of board games.
Mr. Rao too.
But so yeah, tonight's topic. Anthony, are you excited about this topic?
He looks frozen in
He
time.
looks frozen, very happy.
Uh-oh.
Oh man, he was frozen very happily. We'll give him a moment to recover. Ryan, talk about tonight's topic though, because we did take this to the patrons.
Yeah.
And then the patrons were mixed on their decision.
So we had 4 options for this episode, and ended up being the 3 most popular choices of those 4 were in a 3-way tie. So we took it off and moved it into our Discord, and our Discord community voted pretty much like, well, I guess majority, right? Like it was overwhelming. So today's favorite board game components.
Yeah, this is a fun topic. I know we got someone in the wings, but I did want to open up and just give us a chance to each kind of say one that we were both one to start with. And we've got a few, I know we've got a few each that we would love to chat about, but what do we have in store tonight on your end? Anything exciting? Because you love toy style.
I do, and we're gonna go into it in detail. But normally we film together, but we're trying to avoid strep throat. So
yeah.
don't catch it. Don't catch it.
No.
Rest of my house has it.
Oh no. Don't want it.
Whoops.
No, we would probably have more examples of Toy Factor at the table together. Otherwise, but
I love Toy Factor games. I love games that look goofy, and that feel goofy, and that make me feel like a kid again, or I guess continue to make me feel like a kid. So I have a bunch, and I'm going to be going through a lot of them as much as I can for the next couple of hours. And we also are going to be talking about a review. We're doing 3 reviews tonight.
3 reviews. 3
reviews of last week's video, which is we did 3 not roll and rights, trick taking games. So we'll be doing 3 of them. And we see some familiar folks in the chat. I saw Brian Chandler's in the chat. Chewy Huey bringing up Project L. I still have his copy of Project L. But this is a live call-in show, and we'll take in callers. And we do have a caller in the wings. You want to bring him
in? Let's
bring
do
him
it.
in. You do it. You do it. You're controlling it.
All right, I'm controlling it. All right, that's good. We have to set that parameter here, Ryan. It's important.
And let me know if you hear echo, because like my overhead camera is acting up.
Yeah, we've got secondary cams galore tonight. But yeah, let's bring him in. We got. I know he chimed in at the end of the last call aboard. Just made it in before the buzzer, and we got him to kick off call aboard tonight. That is Ryan, aka Squirrel, because you're Ryan, and it's easier to just say Squirrel. So here he is. It's Squirrel.
How you doing?
How you guys doing?
Welcome aboard.
Well, thank you. It's glad to be aboard this train again.
Train.
Choo choo.
So this topic, I know you're super ecstatic about, because I know you as the component king.
Oh yeah. I do get all of the deluxe components for games. I go on Etsy and I get those things if it like is any kind of upgrade. But the three that I picked today are actually components that just come with the game.
Mhm.
They're not like specialized components or anything like that. So, like for example, I have a custom made Etsy playmat for Dune Imperium that encompasses all two expansions, all two.
Which
Both.
we shared in our Discord.
I did.
Shameless plug. We have a Discord.
Join it. It's
Join
really
it.
fun. Yeah. But yeah, my three. Do you want me to go ahead and start? Do you want me to just like
Go, yeah, get
showcase
right
them?
Dive in.
Let's
Two
see
of
what you got.
them. Two of them you're going to have to look up for us because
right,
I don't
all
have the game anymore,
Oh.
and I'll start with them.
Okay.
So, if you could look up the game Yin
Yep.
Yang.
I'll handle this. I'll handle the screen share, Barrows.
Sure.
Got it.
Look up the game Yin Yang.
All right, 1 second.
2019 edition.
Okay. 1 sec. It's this one.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm fairly positive not many
Yin?
people have. Yeah, Yin Yang.
Yang. 2019.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure not a lot of people know about this game or have even played it. But this game is about the Chinese dynasty, and the really cool components that are in there is in that first picture that you see right there. Yep. So in Taoism, the tortoiseshell is representative of yin and yang in certain forms, and so they actually have a golden metal tortoiseshell that you use in this game. And those 6 coins right there, what you do with this component, by the way, is you put those 6 coins in there, you shake up the tortoiseshell, and you dump the coins. If you notice also on the coins, there is either a white sticker or a black sticker.
Mhm.
Those are going to be representative of how much yin you have and how much yang you have. And you can use those as resources for the most part to do your actions for your turn. But the tortoiseshell is what I want to showcase because like in Taoism, like the top side of the tortoiseshell itself represents like the heaven, and the underside, the smooth part represents earth, and they put it all together in a game called Yin Yang, which is it about. But that is a really, really cool component, especially when you have the coins in and you go clink, 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 and just dump them out.
Nice. And it looks like Chewy Huey has played it.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
And,
did you
and
enjoy it?
Gabe has it as well too.
Yes.
Does he have your copy?
No, he does not.
Okay. And Mr. Rao's in the chat, by the way. We sang you happy birthday.
Yes, we did.
You have to go back and listen to it. We did celebrate it
To the tune of a different song.
Yeah, very different, but hey, it worked.
But that's my first component. I liked it very much.
So why did this? What's special about this game? I mean, the components are great, but in terms of like gameplay, why didn't it stay in your collection? What was? Or
why didn't it stay? But that was the other topic that we didn't vote on, so I don't know if I should talk about it.
Go ahead.
I did like it. But there was a lot of randomness, I think, to it. But that was the whole point. So again, when you drop the coins, they give you yin and yang, and you like go up on the action tracks with those two things. Then you take the coins and you put them in specific order, either like black, white, black, or white, white, black, in 2 different ways. One of them goes to the elements board, which lets you depict what actions you take and what things you do on that main area control board, by the way. So this is area control as well. The other coins, the other set of 3 coins, it depicts what kind of upgrades or actions that you take on your actual player board, such as like upgrading or like filling in this tapestry kind of like grid system that you can kind of see up in the top right next to the tortoiseshell. But I thought it played pretty well, but I've played tons and tons and tons of games, and this one just didn't quite make the cut. That's all. It's quite up there though. It's very unique, I'd say.
All right.
Yeah.
That's definitely a really unique. I don't think I've ever seen something quite like that before. That's pretty cool.
Welcome back, Anthony.
Is he here?
Thank you, and my apologies.
Yes.
I am. You probably can't hear me at this point though, because that's the next thing to go wrong.
No, we do hear you.
We hear you just fine.
You're good.
You were so happy being frozen. It was nice.
Uh-oh. There he goes again.
You ready for the next one?
Spots. Don't worry.
Yes.
So, you. I believe you came with 3. So that means I'm wondering, because you started with such a unique one, where this is going to go. So I'm excited to see what your next 2 are.
Sure. So the other one I'm going to go ahead and have you look up as well. We'll go ahead and finish off the ones that you have to look up. So this is this is going to be on Kickstarter in about 5 or 6 days. But I had the chance to play it at Gen Con with the designer himself, and I really love how this game seems to be. It's a co-op. But can you look up the game Weirdwood Manor?
Weird spelled like weird? Oh, I
Like
see
weird. Weirdwood Manor.
it. Ooh.
All right. So if you go into the images, and you have to just find a good one of the board as a whole. Let's see here.
Maybe this one?
Yeah, that might work just fine. Yeah.
Let's see.
Let me see if it will work out.
Ooh, acrylic standees.
Kind of. This will be fine for me to kind of explain how this game works. Now, it's a co-op game. There's four different scenarios currently right now, and everybody plays a different character, has asymmetric abilities. But the component that is really, really unique about this board is the actual board itself. So I don't know if you can tell, but
these are raised.
Right, yeah, those are raised because what they're going to do is they're going to move. They're going to shift. They're going to change places depending on the setup of the game. So that's just setup. However, around that, do you see the ring?
In the throne room, this thing?
No. So outside of the first 6 tiles,
this thing?
That ring right there, yes.
Yeah.
So if you notice, there are going to be 3 of each icon.
Whoa,
that was really zoomed in.
That's really zoomed in. There you go.
There's going to be 3 of those icons, and there are 3 that are morning, 3 that are day, 3 that are evening, and 3 that are night. And how the game works is when you play an action, you put it into a slot above your board. It's an action card, by the way, and you put it in a slot above your board. And whichever phase of the day that you placed it over, you have to rotate that board until it gets to the next one of that phase. So, like if you played a morning card and it's nighttime, you're going to keep on rotating that until it gets to the next morning icon. Now, the unique thing about that too is if the night goes into morning, there's also another ring that is kind of blurry on the page.
Further out over here, right?
Yes, and so those represent the days. So there are 12 days, and you have to complete this scenario within 12 days. So another thing that happens too is after everyone's turn, after they do their actions, the unique enemy is going to do their action, and behind every one of their cards, you can see it coming. It's going to show you how far they're going to rotate one of the boards.
Are these like the enemies right here, like this wolf?
Yeah, but it's on like the back of the card.
Oh, okay.
I can't see it on any of those, but that is the basic enemy, by the way. So as you're playing this game, you are rotating the days and the nights and trying to finish everything within time. Some cards also reverse time. But the last thing to talk about as far as that's concerned, by the way, that's above the board. If you notice, it shows the morning slot, the day slot.
Yeah, I see right here.
Yeah. So the other unique thing about it too is you can't really tell unless you have a better picture of the board itself. But in the rings, they are also separating the rooms. So the ring itself either cuts off that room depending on where it is rotated in. There you go. That's a good one. Do you see the top one, the top blue night phase?
This one.
Yeah. Do you see how that's an open area?
Yep.
That opens up into that room. Now, if you rotate the board, the next one could shut it off and make it so you can't access that room. So you have to use like future planning to try to figure out this whole entire thing. But this is literally 2 giant rings that depict like the openings and the closings of the hallway and all these rooms. And you're trying to collect resources and you're trying to take down the big bad.
Nice.
That's a very unique board, I think. And it plays really well. I got to play a little bit of it. I can't give you like a full synopsis of it, but that was just so unique that it caught me, and I'm actually going to join the Kickstarter in a couple days whenever it launches.
Nice.
Yeah. That's definitely really unique. It's neat to see the way I do like that. I do like when the component does impact your actual gameplay in a significant way, and that's extremely significant. The blocking of a room, which takes an action away. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And I shared it before, but it looks like Chewy Huey's been following this and described it as a passion project by the designer. So definitely it's on the radar of some of the members of this community, yourself included, obviously.
Is this his own publishing house too?
I
Gray
want to,
Ridge?
I want to say so. If I'm not mistaken, I want to say so.
Yeah. Well, maybe. Yeah. Look, there's an iOS game with the same name.
It's based on I think a comic.
Huh.
Yeah. But yeah, that's a Weirdwood Manor.
I'll pull that up for the future. Cool.
So the last one is, I would
You have this one.
Sorry,
You need. Do you need screen for this one or no?
I do not.
All right.
If you want to throw it back onto me,
I'll throw it back.
I actually have it set up next to me, so
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna change my camera so you can see it.
Yeah.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, only one of you has played this game. So as soon as that person sees this, they'll know what it is. Okay. There we go. Oh, by the way, extra bonus. Box expansions. Those are components that I put on my wall.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. There's a box component.
Oh, I know what this is.
That's
Yeah.
Dead Reckoning. Yeah.
This is Dead
Yeah.
Reckoning.
Sorry for spoilers.
No problem. Am I correct in saying that
There you go.
only Chris has played it?
Yeah, I believe that is true. I don't think you've played it, Anthony. I know you haven't, Ryan.
Have not.
But
No,
this
I'm
is
not.
I love this component of the game. So Dead Reckoning is a card crafting system game by John D. Clare. It's one of his biggest ones, and I'm shaking the camera, and I apologize about that.
It's okay.
But the unique thing about this is when you attack a ship, what you do is you build up, you add up how much strength that you have. For example, if I'm a yellow player and I have 5 strength, I would get 5 of my cubes. You find out the strength of the opponent, which if it was a merchant ship, they would show in like black cubes on the back of the card.
Mm-hmm.
You take them, and this dice tower is kind of like you shooting a cannon.
Mm.
So what's going to happen is you're going to drop it, and it's going to go like that.
Mm-hmm.
I love this whole mechanic of that being how it works. If a cube, for example, by the way, was like just teetering in the middle of it, you just rethrow it. But if it was like leaning and it's touching one of the things, you put it into that spot.
Mm.
And all of these different icons tell you what you get. You might not win the battle, but you might be able to steal some loot from the other ship or steal some cargo, which is this right here. But to win the battle itself, you have to have more of your cubes in crown areas than the opponent.
So you won.
Yeah, so I won this. So not only did I destroy the ship and take its card as my own, but I also got some money. I got some cargo. Oh, no, I didn't get cargo. I also set the ship on fire just in case I didn't defeat them.
Mm.
But this is a very cool mechanic about the game. Now, if you got the Kickstarter as well, then as Chris knows, by the way, this game takes up a lot of space on your table.
It does.
And so what they did with the Kickstarter is they also added a ghost ship.
Oh.
So if you have like, if you have a, like, why not? If you have a 4-player game, 2 of them can control one ship, and 2 people.
Your
can,
ship
share
looks
the
so
ship.
much better than the way mine got put together. My ghost ship is going to be put together 10 times better just to make up for how crappy I did with the first ship. It is really cool. It's still functional, but I was so annoyed at one piece didn't go in right, and I was frustrated. But
yeah,
my ghost ship is not put together. I will note, since you're talking about this, because I happen to have this handy, because I was thinking about this from a component perspective. These are the cards for the deck building, and you can see, and I'll show it later on my actual thing, but has something else on it right now. But with this, because it's going to autofocus like crazy.
It's okay.
With these cards, you're actually building up and upgrading your card every round. So these sleeves, it's part of that system, which I know a bunch of the games have, but it is really neat. And as a component, just for the card and rebuilding that, it's very neat. So this was on my radar. I thought it might come up. So I don't need to show a ship now, but I will highlight the fact that these cards are awesome.
I was about to say, why do you have those cards handy, Barrows?
Yeah, not planned, by the way, at all. I literally just assumed someone would bring up that ship, so it was ready just in case. But I'm glad you showed yours, because yours looks much better than the way I put mine together. So,
regardless, it's also just a fantastic game, and I do recommend it if you haven't played it yet.
yeah,
I do want to play it.
But those are my 3 components. If anybody else was hoping to say those things, I don't think anyone would have said the yin yang one. But if anybody talked about the other 2, I'm sorry that I took it over.
No, I mean, I hey, please, if anyone wants to further talk about Dead Reckoning, please do. Don't feel like you You
I mean,
flanked it.
I could keep going, but I've taken up enough time. Everyone else is waiting, I'm sure.
No, well, so Dead Reckoning
hmm
stayed in your collection. How does it compare to some of the other John D. Clare games out there?
Um, so the only two I can think of that you were talking about are Edge of Darkness and Mystic Veil, which are the other two card crafting games that he has.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, but
Mystic,
just in general, because I haven't actually never played any of the card crafting ones,
okay.
period.
Mystic Veil is good for the beginners of card crafting system. This is very involved. Dead Reckoning is very involved.
Yeah.
Edge of Darkness is, I guess, one step higher, and it seems very, very big. That's because it is. It's extremely big. And with those, you do scenarios. So you kind of like Dominion. You pick 10 different kinds of those cards out of, I think, 32 to play with. And so it's only those 10 you're playing with, not all 32, just 10. And you're kind of doing a deck building thing with that too. The unique thing about that one though is your discard pile is actually the main board. So like eventually the main board will like reshuffle its discard pile, which are cards that everyone puts in, and then it's going to be displayed out again. So like you are building up the cards, but you're putting it out into the middle of the board so that everyone else can buy them. But if they buy one card from like your faction, they have to give you money. And that's how you buy more cards. So there's a lot of cool, unique interplay there. But I would for sure Dead Reckoning is one of my favorites because it's I know you like Merchants and Marauders.
I do.
I'd say there's a lot of similarities between what you do in the game with Merchants and Marauders, but it also uses that card crafting system. So you are just getting better and better just by the cards themselves, and not by like anything like upgrading your ship or anything.
Yeah.
But there you go.
All right.
Well, thank you, Squirrel. Appreciate it. Anything up with you on the podcast front these days? I know that you're busy over there, so feel free to share anything good coming the way.
Sure. So we are going to release episode 91, so very close to our 100th episode special, which is going to be a very special episode. But since we do it bi-weekly, you're looking still at about like 4 or 5 more months.
Yeah.
But episode 91 is coming out, and it's we had the pleasure of talking with Sam Stockton of BA Games from their upcoming Kickstarter for Forges of Ravenshire.
Okay.
It is a resource collection and management game, and it's one you should definitely listen to when it comes out. I will post the link in the chat. And we had a really good time speaking with him. We met him at Gen Con, we met him at Origins, and we also met him at PAX and had a lot of fun with all of his stuff.
Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Well, thank you, gentlemen. Keep on trucking, and I will stay and watch the rest of this because I'm very excited to see components. It's you're right. It's a thing I enjoy.
It's the game. It's the day of toys today.
Yeah.
All right. Later, Squirrel.
Like my NES. Yes.
Oh,
right,
true.
Have a good one, guys.
Bye. All right.
Well, I don't know about you, Ryan. I know you've got a good one on the table. If you don't mind, I want to start because I'd love to show. I do want to kind of show those cards a little bit better, and then get over to yours, and then we can see what Anthony's got in mind and encourage everybody. If you've got something, you don't need to have anything to actually show us. We can bring it up on the screen. Ryan's got that covered, but call aboard,
Dash aboard.
Call dashaboard.com. So make sure you call in. We want to hear from you. I want to share one. This is not going to shock anybody, just because of who the designer is behind this game. But to me, this is one of the best values in terms of game component that comes with the core game. Because some of the stuff that I was thinking about, some was more deluxe. But for me, I want to bring this one in, and that is the pieces from War Chest.
Mm-hmm.
And so with War Chest, these are high quality poker chip style pieces, heavy duty. They are fantastic. I got to tell you, what you get in that box, it's just so much value to me. When you talk about a chip that is just fun to play these down on the table, like to me, when I'm going down saying, all right, draw from the bag, it's such a great feeling because we talk about, we've talked about dice drafting and other things before, but when you're pulling out of a bag to figure out what you're going to have to play with, they all feel the same weight, but there's a kind of that excitement that you get from it. What did I get? What did I get? And so even though this game plays, and yeah, I see that Enix talking about playing this on War Chest and wanting to add to his collection. The thing about this is, as much as I do like playing this online, I enjoy this more in person because it has such a
Tactile feel.
Yeah, it's so good. It is. So I had to bring that up. I do want to take a moment, if you guys don't mind, too, to say this is an example of one of those cards, and I know it's a little reflecting there because I got ceiling, but I think you can tell.
Because they're sleeved, right? The sleeves have the upgrades on them.
Yeah, so the sleeves, so you can see on the bottom, this is just the core card, but as I'm upgrading this, there's going to be more and more stuff that's going to fill this in. And I mean, with the deluxe one, you also get the special backs, like the different colored ones, not generic. So this is for the blue, but yeah, for me, that just it stood out. So I did bring it up.
I mean, it's a good. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, and Brian, by the way, is mentioning Mandela stones having nice chunky clicky pieces. I'm so glad he mentions it, because when you come to nice clicky pieces, another one you would mention is a little game called Azul. And I have that prepared because Azul, base game, but fantastic. I mean, look at these freaking pieces. I could drop these all day. It's wonderful. Listen to that sound. But you can't hear it. It's over there. But anyways.
Put those back away before you lose them.
I could do it. I could do it all day. Well, yeah, these pieces, solid. All right, I'm done. But yeah, I just want to note, like, that base experience that a game can provide. Azul and War Chest are the two that, for me, just do awesome stuff. And they stand out to me. So I wanted to mention those. And yes, don't eat them.
Yeah, that's true.
Don't eat them, because I know this looks like a delicious Starburst. If you like Starburst. But yeah, those are the two I wanted to mention off the bat. I've got some other ones in mind. Hoping to hear from what other folks are interested in, but I know you've got a good one on the table as well.
I do. But I do want to pivot a little bit, because I do want to talk about chunky, clunky pieces. I feel like that's been something that I've like. Have you played? We played Vagrant Song together, right? Where you're pulling stuff from a bag. Arkham Horror, the card game, same thing. You're pulling little chips from a bag. Or Leon, you're pulling stuff from a bag. I feel like once you introduce coin capsules into those games, I feel like it's like a necessary element. Like, you want that. Yeah, look, like Chewy Hugh, exactly. I did the same thing. I capsuled all my bullet tokens as well too. And yeah, look, Brian's bringing up the same thing. Guys, you're taking my points.
Great minds think alike. That's what it is.
No, it's true. Yeah, and I love that whole clacky sound when you just stick your hand in and just reach in. And this is why I like board gaming. It's just, you're just playing with toys, you know?
But it's also why, when we talk about, like, during the pandemic in particular, a lot of Board Game Arena, there was something lacking, and there's still, and that's why it's not a true. Azul's a game I can introduce to people. A lot of these games I can introduce people online, but I'm so excited when I get them to the table and they experience that difference of playing with those pieces. And I agree, by the way, with Ryan Clements here about Quacks of Quedlinburg pretty much requires you get coin capsules, because it's been on my list for a while. But I actually am probably going to get those upgraded ones from the Board Game Geek store instead. And use that, but that's essentially the same thing, right? So I think there's something about getting it to the table, and it's exciting, right? So, but you're right, that clunky, that clink, that clank, whatever you want to call it, it definitely makes a difference, and it's become more and more of a thing over the past few years, for sure.
Yeah, that's true. How about you, Anthony?
I'm afraid to talk.
Okay. I could tell.
I feel like as soon as I start talking, my computer's gonna just break on me.
Oh my goodness,
So-
it is.
It is.
See?
But it's okay. Keep talking anyway. We're still hearing you. You just might freeze in a really awkward position that we use on a future best of video. That's all.
Oh, that's pretty good.
All right. How about some dice?
Ooh,
Dice are good to talk about.
dice are great.
All right, Chris, you know these dice. They're pretty big. They stand out. This is a favorite game of yours for sure.
Ooh,
Big.
yeah. I know that dice.
Yeah?
I know those.
Rolling
Is
Realms.
that Rolling
dude.
Realms? Yeah.
Yup.
They are
Rolling Realms.
big, fat, chunky dice, and they're
It
so
is
much fun to roll.
so much fun to roll these. So much fun. I love the colors and small detail. The pips are hexagonal,
Yeah.
which is really thematic as well. So yeah, that's my pick for dice. And I'm going to stop talking because I'm probably getting all frozen and messed up. On to you.
I will do impromptu then. Hang on. Because I don't know if anyone does this, where they have like bindles of like leftover components and whatnot. So hang on, let me go grab mine. It'll be
I
fun.
will just say, by the way, this randomly sits on my desk. It's this just random little thing with dice that sometimes I take out and roll. It's not nearly as because I want them accessible. So that's why they're not in a bin. They're not as nicely beautiful as his. But
So I have a bunch of dice in this thing. It's pretty nice, in case I need dice. It's mostly leftover stuff. And then like this whole thing is just like a bunch of components of board games that I either upgraded or just throughout the years. Just games I don't really need components for, but it's just like a big old jelly bean jar of components.
Yeah, I got a couple of those containers lying around too.
The and it's fun too. Like I like to reach in and grab all different sort of things. It's nice on the table. I know Barros, you were jealous of this because it looks like a bubble gum.
yeah,
Thing.
no, I just wish I had more. I always look at those things of dice just because they look cool. But at the
Yeah.
same time, because like the multicolored dice ones, but I like that the ones I have all come from games that I ever once had, or you know what I mean. Like there's something more meaning to it. So, like the one that I have, this green one that you probably can't see well, is like from like the one of the Rick and Morty games, Pickle Rick game.
What?
And so it's like it's got a running guy, a star, a draw a card. Like there some weird random ones. There's even I'm gonna tell you, I got a die that's a rock scissors paper game, and there's two of them, so you can rock scissors papers with dice. Don't even know where I got that, but I have it. So there you go.
So
Rock, paper, scissors. Who says rock,
Shoot.
scissors, paper?
I said rock paper scissors.
No, you said rock, scissors, paper twice.
Wait, did he really?
I was
Yes.
looking at them on the die. That's why I wasn't actually saying it like the
I did not hear that. Like I heard you say it incorrectly, Anthony, and then but like him saying it normally sounded correct. Sorry, him saying it incorrectly sounded correct.
incorrect.
I guess it's the tone. Weird. But I totally did bait. I threw bait out, by the way, because I know Squirrel wanted to come back and show off his bits collection. So hang on, let's bring him back
So
in.
we're bringing him back. There he is.
Let me see your bits collection.
Just the bits.
Just the bits.
Return of the squirrel.
There's the
Oh.
bits. Yeah. Look at this guy.
Oh,
Oh, boy.
boy.
It's like Tom Vassell over here.
I was gonna say the same
Right?
exact thing.
He's on mute.
No.
I think.
Yeah.
We can't hear
so-
him. That's okay.
Sorry, that's okay. So here's my Yokohama stuff. Here's some wool and thread. Here's some books. You want some books? I got some books. You want some gold? I got some gold for you. I'm just gonna
Oh.
wheel and deal in the corner of the street. I mean, for goodness sake, I have horses.
Oh, I have horses too.
Yeah,
I have more horses than Patty Smith over here.
I got these just in case we ever played Agricola in person.
Let's see. Yay.
Nice.
We do
Yeah.
have a request while you're
Squirrel,
on.
you got a request. You got a
Do
request.
not play
Show your playmat.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll play the music. Tell me when you're ready to come out.
Sure. I'm ready.
Here he comes. Wah 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 wah.
Wow.
Well done.
Whoa.
Is that upside down?
No, it is not actually.
Oh jeez.
Yeah, so all the cards from the different expansions go on the top. There's the battle arena down there at the bottom. over on this side over here is the Immortality expansion right there. And also in the middle right here is the Rise of Ix expansion part. And they also did some changes up here. So if you decide not to use one of the expansions, which covers up one of the abilities, then you can also have a tile that you can add onto this board to replace it. But yeah, this is the Dune Imperium, Matt.
Are you going to be frustrated if they announce another Dune Imperium expansion?
No, because
Okay.
I'll just put that to the side of this.
Okay.
But there's the Matt.
Awesome.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks for letting me back in, guys. Have a good day.
There's Squirrel. Oh man, yeah. Look, yeah. He died and went to heaven. I guess heaven can be found in Union, New Jersey. But so I was really happy to talk about this topic because, as a lot of you know, I do like heavier kinds of games, but I also love toy kind of games. So I have one set up already. I have a couple
like toy
set up
kind
to
of
go.
game.
Kind of. I like kid games because they're great. So and Lupin Louie is no exception over here. So this is the Lupin Louie edition from Japan that has like a 2 to 6 player version of the game. I love this game. I mean, come on. How can you not love that? The little rotating, son of a gun trying to get my stuff. I adore Lupin Louie. I think everyone should try it at least once.
So Ryan, I'm taking this so everyone can see it full screen.
What happened? Oh yeah, please do.
There we go.
Well, we have the other cam too.
Oh yeah, but this deserves a full screen.
Yeah, and what's nice about this one, just so you know, so in base Lupin Louie, which I have the older one from the 90s, is only for 4 players. This one is 4 player, but they come with little modifiers, right? Where you could add on additional player counts. So you just slide. Oh, where's this go? I forget how it goes. There's instructions. They're in Japanese, but they have cool graphics for it. Yeah, there's like a little notch. You know what? I'm just gonna show the back of the box. Don't mind me. The back of the box shows you that you can play all the way up to 6 players. And for those of you that don't know, Lupin Louie is actually a big college drinking game in Germany, where people just take shots when they get hit by Louis, which is rough. It's rough. I've never done it because, my college years are over and that's just not going to work for me. But I feel like I would have done it. But yeah, Lupin Louie is so cool.
Maybe we can bring that tradition back for like a charity stream or something.
I would love to do that. That's a great way to forget the charity stream happened. Now, there's a game I have too that I bought after watching Tom Vassell talk about it on Dice Tower. And it's called The Ghost of Castle Turnwall. I'll just put that around.
Did we ever review this one? We
never reviewed it.
We should because this was interesting.
Well, spoilers. It's currently in the Tabletop Express Patreon fodder. So
yes,
it seems interesting.
It is in the Patreon fodder. So for all of those patrons who I know are in, if they are interested in this or talk about it, it's one of those games you could take after your 12 months as a $10 patron. So if this appeals to you, but I'll let Ryan tell you about it first.
All right, so we got ghosts. Yay. And I bought this mostly for my ghost busting booth. But I don't know if it's actually going to work for it. So what you're doing is you're moving around these ghosts through this haunted house, and you are trying to collect different outfits for a party. So you're collecting like a hat accessory, a body accessory, they're just clothes, I guess, right? Body accessories. They have feet and stuff. Those are called shoes. Man, my wording is not working out today. But let me bring it up on full screen just so you can see.
I got it.
You got it? All right. Thank you, dude. So what's cool is this game actually involves magnets. So there's these little sticks that have a bunch of like little circle indentations on them. And some of the circle indentations actually have stickers. I mean, not stickers, magnets, whereas the other ones don't. Because what's going to go on in this game, you can't move through walls, okay? But what you can do is you could rotate the board, right? So I can rotate the board, and I can get stuck on a magnet and move through the board that way. You saw that? Like this yellow ghost? So I'll move it again so you can see it. It's moving like through the game itself, through the board itself, and you want to land on a specific piece for your outfit to collect. And the first player to have a full outfit wins. It was pretty fun. I mean, the toy factor is great. I love this whole thing about the whole spinning around. Like, it's just so unique that I think everyone should give it a shot if you see it. And it's good for kids. It takes about like 20 minutes, but it's one that gameplay wise it's kind of lacking. Not as much as Loop and Louie, because Loop and Louie has actually like tournament style rules, but this one is more of a toy than anything. So that's Ghosts of Castle Turnwall, my second choice. Boop, 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 boop. But I do want to talk about a newer game that just came out. So this one I saw at PAX Unplugged, and no one was really touching it, and at the time, and I was like, I'm all about this. And this game was called Piazza Rabazza. So Piazza Rabazza, right? Let me slide this over. Oh, and I see in the chat Scroll brought up about Magic Labyrinth. It is kind of similar in that regard, for sure. But what's interesting about this was, you slide the magnets around. I do want to, I should play that with my son. But let me talk about this one. So, boop.
Put you back on cam so they can see you.
Oh, great. Hi, everyone. Hi, everyone. So I'm setting up Piazza Rabazza right now. Now, this is just like a little Italian villa going on over here, okay? And on top, there's a pizza dough maker, okay? And you are going to be controlling Luigi. I wish, this. So he's riding over here like a Vespa, going to be delivering pizzas through the town. And he'll be delivering these magnetic pizzas, right, through the town. And you need to deliver specific pizzas to people that want the pizzas. And the thing is, what's cool about this is when a pizza is delivered, right? Everyone has different delivery cards of what customer wants the pizza. But when a pizza is actually delivered to that customer, they just say, grazie. They don't care if it was your customer or not. They just care that they got the pizza. So the opponents that you're playing with could benefit from your failures. Because what's going to happen is this whole town's going to gyrate. On top, the dough maker is going to make some dough. I'm still on camera, stretching. Hi, how are you? All right, go full. Go full.
Go full?
Go full.
Oh, that was kind of funny.
I'm going to let go. All right. So the whole town's going to gyrate. And... oh no, I dropped my pizza. Hang on. So Luigi is going to go and try to deliver his pizza, right? So there you go. See, it got... I don't know if you can tell, but it got smacked in the face of this person. There's the pizza. And then I need to go to a different quadrant of the board, and I need to do this all before the time runs out, which is when the town stops gyrating. I love this one. Like this is made for me. I love pizza, and I love like silly kids games. I feel like this. If there was a game that was like a modern kind of Loop and Louie kind of feel, this one is one to check out. I actually prefer it over Loop and Louie, and that's high praise for me.
Wow,
yeah.
That's a strong statement.
Well, we reviewed it on the channel. It was just me reviewing it, but I think it gave like an 8-9 at the time.
It was you, but it was I think it was in the PAX Unplugged.
It was a PAX Unplugged video.
For a PAX Unplugged video, we did get to cover the ones that we actually played. So I don't know if it was official reviews, but it was definitely impressions. And this won you over for sure. Because I remember us expecting you to like, in particular, because of component,
Oh,
the
Teeter Tower.
Teeter Tower,
Yeah.
and it didn't shake out as a win for you.
I
But
would love to pull that one up. I actually, it's also on the for sale / giveaway pile. Let me pull up Teeter Tower.
and that was an interesting one. I will say Teeter Tower was an interesting one. It was
I love the
very
concept.
It was just finicky, if I remember correctly, when we
It was blistering hard, but not in a good way. So like in order to like make the game a little better, you had to house rule a lot of things, and it's just like at this point, like why am I house ruling this? This could have just been developed probably better.
Yeah.
But in the game, you're going to be taking a tile and placing it onto the board, and then a set of dice, and the dice can only be placed on matching numbers. Any die can be placed if it's a matching number of the die. The different colors of the dice matter because what's going to happen is if you don't have the matching number but have the matching color, you could place it on like a segment of that tile that has that color. And if it's something that has both the number and the color, you could straddle the pieces. Because the thing is, you're going to be rolling dice, placing those dice down. You know, choosing a map, you roll dice, choose a map tile, place the map tile, place the dice, and then move on to the next player. And you're trying to do all different levels and then top it with a tower at the end. But in addition to that, the other sides of the tiles are twisted sides. So when you place a twisted side one, you need to place it at a specific angle that it tells you on the board, chopped out. But without that, I mean, the game is still hard enough, you know? So it just takes a hard enough game that makes it nearly impossible. And I wish, like, I wish the stacking was better. And I love stacking games. Like I mentioned before in the Discord, Junk Art was on sale. Junk Art is the best stacking game out there. So I really wanted to give this one a shot. I love cooperative games too. Like I really liked Minara was another one. But let me bring up Junk Art so you could see what Junk Art looks like, by the way. Like these are all the pieces of Junk Art. Like it's every piece in the game. You're not going to do this in your segments. But every round is a different rule set. It does not come with a Christmas tree in the back, though. That would be pretty cool. You do 3 different rounds of different art pieces, and you get all these random looking pieces. It's great. I love this one. This one's fantastic. If you can get a copy, get it. Definitely get the wooden one. There's a plastic one as well, too, which isn't as good and worse for the environment, so get the wooden one instead. But I did mention Minara as well, too. Minara is another stacking game that has beautiful components. Where in this game, it's a cooperative stacking game where you're going to be building a tower together. You're going to be pulling a card, and that card is going to tell you how many pillars you can add to the tower, and the pillars just need to match the circles on the tower. And when you fill up a tower piece, you then get to add another tower piece to the board, and you're either adding it on the same level, on the base level, touching an existing piece, or you put it up on the next level. And the goal is to make it reach a specific level that you set out in the beginning of the game. But as the game goes on, certain cards that flip over you may not be able to achieve, and if you're not able to achieve it, it counts as a penalty card, and it makes your requirement for your tower to be even higher. This one's fantastic. It's actually really fun with kids too. My son, who's 4 right now, we played it a lot last year, and he told me in his own words he likes playing it because he feels like he feels like it's not a kid game. Like he feels like it makes him a big boy.
Nice.
Because it doesn't look like a kid's game. I mean, let me I have it right here. Like this box, like this doesn't look like
No, it really
Loop and Louie.
No,
You know?
you had let me borrow this. I didn't get a
Yeah.
chance to actually play it, and I remember like this doesn't look like a kid's game at all.
It
But
also
it's so great.
doesn't look like a stacking game until you turn the box.
It doesn't until you turn the box. It just looks like ominous
Yeah.
tower. Like this could be Karuba for all you know.
Yeah.
Or Cacao, or any game of that ilk that looks like that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Rhino Hero is brought up. Rachel's bringing up Rhino Hero.
I do have to tell you guys, Squirrel inspired me earlier to think about a game. Because when he was holding up the playmat, Playmats don't always do it, right? You don't always need the playmat, right? And very
I know
often,
what you're going to talk about.
yeah, and
Go ahead.
I was surprised when I realized how much the playmat added to this game. And this will kind of give it away.
That is not
this,
what I was thinking.
this image here. No, this is what I want to talk about.
That is what I was thinking.
Yeah. So yeah, see, I had the inside of a box cover. These hazmats, which I'll just kind of give you a little bit of a look at, won't show you fully, but these hazmats that come in the deluxe version are totally worth it. And when you actually kind of look, and I'm just going to kind of show you the other side here. You've got this 1, 2, 3 section where cards are going to go out based on when they come out, they'll be instructed to put there. You've got your water tracker here. You've got just your cards that are going out in the top row, middle row, and your bases on the bottom. And I got to tell you, actually, the water tracker's on the other side. But the concept of needing the hazmat, like, it didn't make sense to me. I watched a video. Like, why do I need this? But the experience of playing with these hazmats versus playing without them, it was a night and day difference. It actually enhanced the experience. And this was the first time I experienced this with a game, quite frankly, where the mats made such a difference. I will say not the expansion, but the upgraded version also had some, better kind of chits in it and everything else, and the cards have a little bit better quality, but the hazmats are totally worth it. And Ryan says, can I also mention, this is the strangest things to say, but the cards smell wonderful. If you get Radlands, take out the cards and give them a sniff. I'm not going to do that.
I'm going to go do it.
Come on, do it.
Do it.
Let me see. I guess I have to now.
Smell your own cards.
So
Smell
first
your
and
own
foremost, by
cards.
the way, this holder is great.
Watch them still be sealed.
No, they're not.
Oh, okay.
Let's see. Oh, it's true. Yeah, they don't smell bad at all.
What do they smell like?
Oh, describe it, dude.
I don't know.
Come on, it's like a wine tasting. What aromas
like
do you smell?
It's like opening
Bit of oak.
a brand new book kind of smell.
Danielle agrees. Danielle says that they smell good also. All right.
Look,
Interesting.
see?
But this game, you can see this box that even holds it. Like, these component upgrades are so much better than the
Yeah, they're nice. Well, because they're just cardboard.
Yeah, but you know what I compare them to? And I was prepared for this.
Uh-oh, here we go. Oh, Hive.
Very comparable component quality. See, I was ready for this. If you want just to differentiate there, we'll put one on both sides.
I do love Hive.
But
I mean, the quality of the components, the pieces are great. The game
is. I love the game too. It's one of my portable games. But yeah, the quality of this game in terms of the components. But those hazmats, I got to tell you, they're totally worth it. Great investment. And
keep saying hazmats with such a straight face.
I was gonna say, I love that they're called.
That's what they are.
How much is Roxley
awesome.
paying you on that?
Yeah. They're not.
Brought to you by.
Yeah. But again, I'll take a moment, by the way, now to say, if anyone is in the chat wants to share some of their favorite components, they don't want to come on.
We scrolled past a bunch of stuff I want to bring up.
Yeah, let's go do that. And in the meantime, if anyone wants to call in, remember, call dash.
So Gabe mentioned he just got the expansion to Panara, and that's awesome because I believe Gabe is local, so I would like to play Gabe.
Nice.
And then let's see, Radlands. By the way, I think an expansion was announced too recently.
I cannot remember if that was one of the many that I saw recently.
I think there was an expansion announced. It's not on BGG, but I saw. I think I heard on So Very Wrong About Games. There was like an announcement for the expansion. Oh yeah, 2 days ago, Radlands expansion announced.
I'm very.
Oh wait, it's an April Fool's joke.
Oh, that's not fair.
Oh no, it was an April Fool's joke. That's the worst.
Oh man.
But that's kind of extra mean. It wasn't even like a spoof of something else. It was just like, hey, we're going to make an expansion. Just kidding. Because usually those are like over the top, and you're like, okay.
Well, not those over the top ones. Sometimes don't really,
But in all fairness,
This one is an over the top one.
in
Yeah.
all fairness, Radlands as a game is really tight. I don't know that more value needs to be. I don't know. It's
It's coming up. There it is. It's
there's
now with
still
more wetness.
Oh, there's Jar Jar Binks in there too.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry about that. Fake news.
Oh,
Not. Yeah.
that's okay. I got my good news the other day because Cascadia is getting an expansion, so
buddy.
that's got me happy.
Yeah, and right, that's a real thing. The re-release of Santorini. There's a Kickstarter campaign for a new Santorini, is there not?
There
It's,
is.
It's cooperative, I believe.
It's
Yeah.
cooperative. It's kind of legacy-ish, I guess. But yeah, it's cooperative. Well, it's not. I guess not legacy. It's like there's scenarios like you're trying to accomplish certain things together. So
Yeah, you're trying to like solve like riddles from the Sphinx or something. At least that's what the cover art.
Oh right, because there's
Lies.
well, I think those are there's like puzzle kind of things, like different
Yeah, those
puzzles, right?
you're trying to accomplish certain things. Yeah, it's definitely puzzly to say the least, which might refresh Santorini for some people who have it sitting on their shelf and haven't played in a while. I don't know. I'd love to try it. I will not be rushing out to buy it. I also am going to bring this up on the screen because I really poorly didn't realize the thing was up at the time, and I had thrown some things on my table. So I just want to note two things. One, Villainous is fine as a game. I enjoy it, but one of the reasons I keep buying it, I feel like, is these beautiful pieces that come with it.
That's Cruella de Vil, right?
Yeah, this is Cruella de Vil, the Target Special Edition. Like these pieces are fantastic. So I wanted to mention them, and then Ryan, this is not going to surprise you, but I wanted to bring this to the screen, and that is
okay.
That is the Runaway from Vagrant Song, and this type of component is what I want to talk about, which is I just love this
acrylic
style.
standees.
Yeah, these acrylic standees. I am so in with these. I just love them. This is my favorite. This is the Runaway. She's got a dog who I do not have with me. The dog is over on the table because that's where he is. But yeah, I just
I'm gonna
love
pull
these
up a picture
standees.
of it. Where is that? There you go. They're so nice. Those acrylic standees.
It's pretty.
That's what I want gaming to go. Oh yeah, right. He's bringing up the acrylic standees in Marvel Age of Heroes in the upcoming. Oh yeah, Weirdwood Manor too.
Yeah.
Sorcerer's Arena. Yeah, I'm liking this trend.
Yeah, and Age of Heroes. Did I not? I think I just saw. I know Mr. Rao's off playing games for his birthday now, but I believe he just got this for his birthday.
I think so. Yeah.
So we'll have to get a look at his sometime. See how good those came out. Though we kind of saw them. They looked nice in the demo example. I think at PAX Unplugged. So they were those that for that style. But yeah, I like those standees. So I wanted to bring that up. That was my other item that I didn't want to forget about.
So I think it really depends on what the character is that's being portrayed, right? Like I think in Vagrant Song, that 2D art just works for what those characters are, as opposed to like a sculpted mini for like a game that has crazy fantasy monsters and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, the miniatures in Gloomhaven are appropriate for Gloomhaven. There's no question.
Now I kind of wish Wonderland's War was acrylic standees.
Ooh,
because the art is gorgeous, and I think I would prefer that over the miniatures.
You know what I can tell you about Wonderland's War? What's beautiful? I will just note, I do love the coins, just like I like the other coins.
Yeah, the clanking.
The clanky coins, which I can say I did have them.
There it is.
They're beautiful.
Phoenix bringing up a good point that he got his brother a Dark Knight Returns game, and the miniatures are fantastic. And I say it's a good point because I want to play that game. And the thing is, I actually did not enjoy the Dark Knight Returns graphic novel. I don't know. There's something about I think for the time when it came out, it did a great job of bringing some darker definitions to Batman for sure. But I just don't think it's aged too well. You know, at least in my opinion. Sorry, it's not a comic book talk, but
Well, I will give a positive thing here, which is look at these. Look at this box.
yeah,
This is
it's a
the
lot of
Wonderland
plastic.
War box for those who don't know what they're looking at. That's. I mean, I know this was for anyone who's filling out that form. Now you could still get this. I'm pretty sure if you didn't get it initially and you're getting the expansion for Wonderland's War,
Yeah,
you could still add these. They are so nice and so worth the money, in my opinion. And I agree with you. I could deal without the if I didn't have the miniatures and I had these, I'd be fine. Like the miniatures are nice, um, and one is in need of repair still.
whatever.
But you literally said off with her head, and you took off someone else's head. So
I did.
You're never gonna live that one down.
No, he will never live that down.
No, he'll live it down once I actually have it repaired. Then I'm gonna.
Wow.
Yeah. I just haven't repaired it yet. I'm not that I don't like that. I don't do good with that glue. I don't.
Now just imagining you like sticking in your hair or something. You know.
Chris is the guy at the beginning of like the infomercial of showing you the worst way to do the thing
Yeah.
that the product solves. Where the
Are
guy's
you
like,
tired of going like this on your chin and then realizing, wait a minute, my soul patch is now extra craggled?
Oh,
On that
God.
note, I will say if anyone in the chat does have any favorite components and would like to chat with us, feel free to buzz in. Don't need to go on video if you don't like, but audio only is fine. Obviously, we are talking about our favorite board game components.
I'd like to pivot the conversation then.
Yeah, go pivot.
Let's pivot it. So Squirrel brought this up before about upgrading pieces, because there's plenty of games too where I've gotten upgrades of pieces. Some games don't even come with pieces for specific things that would have been nice. And I'm looking basically at Fantasy Flight games with their Arkham Horror Living card game. Like the card game itself is just cards, and a lot of the scenarios that you go into, you have to arrange the cards in a specific order to know what room goes to where, and little things like arrows pointing to what rooms to go to, like that would have been nice, right? But of course it doesn't come with it. You have to buy those off some random person from Etsy, uh I don't know, are there any games that you've gotten upgraded pieces for? Yeah, the actual mini compasses for Lost Ruins of Arnak. Oh, that was a fun upgrade. Yeah.
The upgrades though, it's an official. Like the official upgrades that I like are the coins. I
Yeah.
will say I like I've got a bunch of the coins right here from Dead Reckoning,
Okay.
and they feel like I can put it on camera.
Oh, sorry. I was pulling up. By the way, this is the Arkham Horror thing. This is like the you see these roads, these standees. Like it doesn't come with this, pointing directions. If you try playing this game and knowing like what room is connected to what, how are you gonna really know? Because some rooms are very intricate, and then this person like has like their own custom stand. Because the game gives you, as your player piece, it's just another card, and it's just you just put it flat on the table. I had to just get like from an old Milton Bradley game, like those standees, just to hold the card up together.
Oh man. Well,
Yeah.
I made mention of it, so I better show it. These
Yeah.
are the coins that I was talking
That's
about.
me.
You can see like these coins look so great. They feel like pirate coins. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
And they're heavy duty. Like these are heavy duty coins. So these were my favorite because the Libertalia had great coins. These had great coins, and I love as in terms of a purchase because this came with the deluxe, but I extra bought all the Scythe coins, and the Scythe coins are a must buy in my opinion. Even with when I got expeditions, I got the extra coins that you get to kind of complete the collection that you would use for expeditions.
There's an ant.
There is an ant. I see that. Wow.
Going for those coins.
Wow. All right, ant. You want to be a movie star. But yeah, that is these coins for
I
me.
made it big, guys.
Yeah,
You picked the wrong channel.
But you speaking of an upgrade, like I threw this in this bag for whatever reason that I'm holding, but like I want to get like a piratey bag to put it in. Like that's the kind of upgrades I think about. Like thematically, I want to get something that makes me more think, piracy and all that jazz.
Why not a chest?
I mean, but you put them in a chest, but I want to store them in a cool
You want
bag.
like a leather like satchel thing?
Yeah, like a leather satchel or something. Like it's just for storage purposes. It's stupid in retrospect, but that's what I want to store it in. Just like one of the few site things I don't have is the actual scythe. Whoa, hi Anthony.
Oh, he's big.
He's big. Like the actual scythe bags with the which the symbol for your clan on there. So like to me that I like that stuff. It's a little extra bit, but it adds a little personal touch that makes the game that much more fun when I'm taking it out, putting it away, and makes it easier to organize. But you can store this in a chest in the game. Like you've got these really cool chests that you made. All of Dead Reckoning, quite frankly, from a components perspective, is fantastic. So I'm really glad it got brought up because it really is well done.
Do you think you would enjoy the game as much if it didn't have that toy factor?
I do think so. I do think it's still a solid game. I do think it needs a little of toy factor, like the little ship. I do think the thing that you have to keep is the dice rolling, the mechanic for the battles. I think that really is different and fun. You're either going to love it or hate it, quite frankly. But if you're going to love it, you're going to appreciate that ship, and to me, that's important. So, that one. Now, if you had regular little coins, whatever, I could work fine with it. I'm a sucker for metal coins, so that's a me thing. Not everyone needs metal coins. I kind of like having metal coins galore. Metal coins are kind of my thing over, say, some people are really into sleeving. I want the metal coins for every game if it's realistically a game that should have metal coins. And not every game needs metal coins, but there's a lot that I think are better.
If it can't have metal coins.
Yeah. I like the clink.
That's all right. That's all right. I mean, I definitely went with the Ironclays approach,
Yeah.
So like the poker chip kind of feel for a lot of games that are reusable across different games. But I definitely have some games that have just dedicated.
I have put those Ironclays on my Christmas list 3 years in a row. No one has got them, so I'm gonna have to get them for myself. I've given up. They're not coming.
I feel you, man.
Gonna have to buy them.
I feel you.
It is what it is.
But yeah, for upgrading games, I mean, I'm looking right now, and Arkham Horror for sure is a game that you need to get upgrades for if you really are getting into it. There's just some like I'm just trying to think of other games where the components weren't that great. I mean, with Marvel Champions, kind of the same thing. You had to get a bunch of upgrades to. Not as much as Arkham Horror, the card game, but there's definitely
organize the
upgrades.
Game. To organize the game, you better start printing out dividers to make it easier. And quite frankly, those aren't upgrades, but they do upgrade the experience.
Yeah.
And I don't know that you need the little extra bits, but they definitely make a difference whenever you've got like a card stand to put, maybe the bad guy and all the different scenarios that you're trying to get through, because I do think that helps. I think for games like that, though, that's where the dice come into play, and having a die that can reflect the hit points as opposed to using a dial or things like that. Stuff like that goes a long way for me with Marvel Champions. I'd rather have I guess a D20 isn't enough, but I'd rather have a bunch of dice there, D20 paired with some other stuff, usually for me. Just to make it so I can easily see, all right, here's all the hit points. Oh crap, we're almost done.
Yeah.
As with when I fight Kang.
He's so frustrating.
He is. He is.
I do want to bring up one game though that is a DIY kind of game. So I have to bring up one of my all-time favorites, and that's Gaslands. It's a miniatures game, but it's on Board Game Geek, so it counts, right? Let me pull up the stream. So Gaslands is just a book. That's all it is. Actually, It's you could see it off in this way. There it is, right there. It's just a book that it comes with Gaslands, but the game is designed to be used with Hot Wheels. And the actual board you see right here, we played last week on our stream. We used it for Cat in the Box. um, but the game is all DIY, and you're just using Hot Wheels to fight each other. And you could make your own terrain and just make your own board. And man, I think it's so cool. Like I love the whole aspect of like I could, because Brian Chandler was bringing up, by the way, about painted miniatures, and how cool is it that I could just, go to ShopRite and buy like a little miniature for Gaslands, take it out of some kid's hand, like give me that. That
You
looks
could
great.
you could use all your Mario. You could use Mario Kart cars and make it Gaslands.
Yeah, and there's actually a fan variant on how to turn Gaslands into Mario Kart. You should play Gaslands. It didn't make my top 20, but
I know it didn't make your top 20, but I know it's important.
I do adore it.
I like
do.
that one. So, it is what it is. I am also going to say, ask everyone and chime in the chat here for us. We'd love to know what your favorite component is, and not like in a game, not
Ever?
like a specific board game, but like your favorite component. Is it dice? Is it coins? Is
like category. Okay.
like your favorite category of component? If you had to pick one, so I'd love to hear what people think about that. Because I think I've kind of sold it. Like for me, much as I love dice, if it's a game with coins, I want my coins or form of money. And so that could be coins or poker chips, I guess technically. But whatever is the income in the game, I like something that's adds a little extra, pizzazz. That's kind of my. I don't know. There's something about it because I'm the person who was always stacking and in poker. I do like poker. I'm okay at it, but I always like playing with the chips since I was a kid.
Well, there's some chatter about it already. Let's see. Squirrel's saying that metal coins is his favorite component. Neoprene mats as well. Danielle's saying that her favorite is dice. Chewy Huey with folded space inserts and a winking. They go well with hazmats, I believe, too. They'd say I'm a huge player board guy. Yeah, dual.
Yeah.
So that was my choice as well, Rachel. The dual player boards, like the inset player boards, where you just have like little notches that you could put your pieces in and not worry about them sliding off. I mean, everyone's thinking right now, right, of terraforming Mars and how awful it was in the beginning, where there wasn't those upgrades for putting your different cubes down, and a nick of the table can just.
I even bought
those go everywhere.
I even bought the plastic, like you got more than that, but I even bought the Azul update that got me the little thing that goes over the board. They're not.
Oh yeah. What was that called? Crystal Mosaic, right?
Yeah,
or crystals.
They're not great, but you know what? I use them because they do help a little bit. They help with the actual piece, but not with the scoring. With the scoring, they're awful. Like you may as well just.
Oh really?
Yeah, because it I'll have to show you sometime, but like it kind of moves. Like
that's not good.
It moves like it still moves.
Oh, so it still moves the everything.
No, like
the cube's gonna move.
Like the cube can still bounce. I think between like every 5 spaces. Like I
that's awful.
Yeah, but it's great for the actual Azul pieces. For the scorekeeping, it's garbage. But for the actual Azul pieces, it's fantastic. But yeah, I wish it was better. I was disappointed, to be honest.
Yeah,
you can't slide
that's the proper term, acrylic board inlays.
Rachel's got it spot on. You can't slide the tiles when scoring. So what it is like you have to pick it up and then move it.
Oh, okay. It's not like I because that's the thing. Without it, you could mistakenly give yourself more or less points.
Yeah, but it's like they're small enough to begin with. You got like pick it. It's and then like you put it, and I don't know. It's finicky. It's finicky, to say the least. It's fine. I don't care. I use it because I like it for the actual Zool pieces. But yeah, I love those things. It's not the same as player board, though. Ares Expedition I got the ones with the nice ones for that, and I appreciate it. I really do. Moving those pieces around there, it's so much nicer. And Darwin's Journey, I think, is Had someone starting coming with those? I know a lot of these games that are coming to me now. It's becoming more and more standard. So it's kind of hard when they don't come with it. It's almost rare at this point. It feels like it's just become more of a standard as a whole. At least starting for sure.
Anthony, what about you? What's your favorite kind of component?
I mean, it's definitely dice if they got to be, nice dice, not just getting a bunch of white and black D6s, but like
Well,
custom.
Spots is very upset by you.
Yeah, well, that's different. That's different. What I'm more impressed about in Spots is those cards. Those trick cards they're nice and thick. They're not going anywhere.
Chunky.
Yeah,
yeah,
for sure. Yeah, I think dice for sure.
Yeah, scrollbing is a good point. All D&D players would say dice. Too.
Yeah, definitely. But I've got one here that's got some dice that are okay. They're not the best part of the game component-wise by any means. But Ryan, you mentioned kids games and ghosts.
Oh. Wait. Hang on. Can I guess?
Of course.
Is it Ghost Blitz?
No.
Ghost Fighting Treasure. No.
Oh, Ghost Fighting Treasure Hunters.
Ghost Fighting Treasure
Hunters.
Oh,
yeah. Those ghosts from Ghost Fighting Treasure Hunters.
Oh, yeah, they are so cute.
They're awesome because you can do this, first of all. That's really cool. And then you got the big guys here.
Yeah.
Right? But then your player pieces are cool too. They're all these four little kids, which, whatever, they're just like sculpted, but they got these little backpacks and the little cardboard gem goes right in there.
It's so nice.
You get to carry it around. So cool. So cool. I love
that is a great one. Shout out to Polyominoes as well. Yeah, Isle of Cats, Patchwork, Project L. But yeah, that's a fun one. And I still have that one, but I have the Ghostbusters version of it because of course, right?
And I also have the Ghostbusters version of that one because I gave the other one to the library because the Ghostbusters version was more fun.
Oh, I mean, it adds the extra variant where the Rowan figure.
The extra variant. Yeah. That's exactly it. The rogue that was just in the butt, but I love it.
So Brian mentioned Isle of Cats, which just made me think of something actually. So I don't have a ton of aftermarket upgrades for games per se, but one of the cool things is so my buddy Eric, my best friend Eric, who's the other half of Board Game Dads, his wife Melissa is very handy with the the sewing and the Cricut machine, all that stuff like that. And what's really cool is she makes us like some custom bags for games that have bags. So I have this awesome Isle of Cats bag, which happens to be right here, because she finds all these funky like patterns and stuff.
Oh, neat!
You can see all these crazy cosmic cats here.
Yeah.
Right?
Cosmic Cats, a new game by Jim Felly.
She gave us new bags for Quacks because the Quacks bags are all black. So
she gave
us ones in the different player colors, which are all like kind of swirly and stuff. What else did she give me? Oh, for Downfall of Pompeii, which has an awesome component itself with that volcano. But she made us like a cool lava flame-looking kind of bag to draw the.
Does she run her own Etsy store on this stuff too? I have to like she should be if she's not.
She does, I think. I don't. Yeah, I'll have to find out what it's called again, and I'll definitely put it in the Discord. But
sounds like she's doing awesome work. That's why I asked.
Yeah, and she's made some T-shirts for Eric and stuff like that. She's really good at it.
I wish I had mine on me. My friend Josh made one too for me, where it's a pattern of the Cuban flag, some Cuban descent, and then the inside of the bag, it's a reversible bag. So the inside of the bag is the Brazilian flag, because my wife, she's Brazilian descent, so we have like a bag where you can just choose which nationality you want to use. What did I use it for recently? I used it for something recently that we played together. I remember what it was. What did I give?
I feel like more things should be reversible.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
I love reversible stuff. I have that awesome reversible belt. I've had that like same belt forever. You just turn the little buckle, and now it's black instead of brown on the side.
Reversible nice dad joke, Brian.
By the way, for the record, I do appreciate dice, and I do appreciate the variety of dice, because I was just thinking about Hit Z Roads dice, and they've got a lighter feel to them. They're a little different. Like I like the way every dice in these separate games can just feel different. Even going back to appreciate when Ryan got like these bone dice to represent the bones that you roll in Vagrant Song, and no one could roll the dice well except John, the hand.
Yeah.
If you go watch that video, he's only a hand.
They're truly haunted because they're like made out of cow bone. It's weird.
Yeah. I will note that though.
The things you buy on Amazon, it's weird. It's bizarre. They sell those cow bones dice.
Yeah. I will note one thing too, because I was just thinking about this as I said, as I mentioned, Hit Z Road.
Yeah, talk about it.
Like Hit Z Road. Let me just note, and I'll show some examples of why I like the components of this, even though they're nothing special from like a quality perspective.
No, I'm glad you're talking about this one because I was gonna stop you to talk about it.
So I'm gonna put some examples out here, and then I'll show what the kind of thing is on the other side. So give me one sec.
Hit Z Road, designed by Martin Wallace. I bought it a couple of years ago on Amazon for like $20. It's always pretty cheap on Amazon.
Yeah.
And it looks a lot scarier than it is. It's really just a push your luck game.
Don't disregard the coins because I did not move them.
It's Big Anthony. There you go.
But if you look at, so you're going to see the front side of some of these cards and the back side. What they did with this game, which I think is fantastic, is the thematic of this game is your kid who's on the road during the zombie apocalypse of his family, and your family's making up the time on the road by playing games, but he made a game about that using stuff from the road, which means he's made it out of playing cards and this Space Cowboys Motel, and oh look, that's a Ticket to Ride card or a Seven Wonders card, and it's really neat the way the theme oozes in this game, and it does it because of these components, and it's just really cool. Even what's meant to be the bottle caps and stuff at to get gas, you put it on the back of this bottle cap, but look, they're meant to look like little bottle caps.
Yeah.
So to me, this is a component that doesn't necessarily have an extra quality to it from it feels better or it's waterproof or something, but man, it works because thematically it just looks great, and that goes down even to the player cards. Like player number 2 card. This is player number 1. They just look like it's a credit card. This is some random ID. I mean,
yeah.
So I could keep piling stuff on here. You get the point.
I mean, it's honestly why I bought it too. I love the unique feel to it. Of that way you described it, like post-apocalyptic. The kids just make, because it's a push your luck game. And it's pretty straightforward, to be honest, but it looks so cool. I mean, that whole spiel about this kid just finding whatever pieces he can and just scrapping them up. Even the box of the game, right? It's like it says hit the road, but it's like crossed off with like marker all etched out. No more TV.
Yeah, and I will note, if you were to look at this manual for it, thematically they definitely did like a they kind of ran with it. It's like there's at the top of this one, if you can see, there's like a newspaper clipping.
Yeah.
So like they did a lot of little neat things with this one. So this was top of mind. It was clearly sitting next to me this entire time because I was considering talking about it. But yeah, I mean, look at those components. Really awesome stuff. Those coins obviously are not part of it, but yeah, everything else totally awesome. And my favorite thing is this little key.
Yeah.
It's just a little plastic key. But yeah, I mean, good stuff. But yeah, that's a wonderful game, and it's not hard. That's the thing. Like, it's not it's very easy to learn. I could teach anybody that game, and it's fun. Just be ready for luck. Like, it's all about luck in the end.
Yeah.
It really is. It's a complete it's crazy at the end of some of those games. I think it can get wild to the point that you're just rolling to fight to survive and hopefully being the only one that survived. And you can all lose too. So that's fun.
Yeah, that's a fun one for sure. And I want to piggyback on that because that's a very unique situation that it's a great package that game comes in, right? It just all makes sense and everything really fits together, and presentation wise it's just really cool. And it totally reminded me of a game that I forgot about until just now that does something very similar, which is New York Slice.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. Starting with the fact that it looks like a pizza box and opens like a dang pizza box where it's attached to the pivot here. Amazing. The rule book, I mean, honestly, if I just flash this real quick, what is it? It's a menu. It's a menu.
Yeah.
It's a menu. Font is set up like the menu. The specials inside. It's
Yeah.
just amazing. The components themselves, the pizza slices are super nice and thick. Very like realistic looking. All different types of toppings and things like that. And then even the score sheet is your classic tuck here from the restaurant. I mean, this is just the stuff to sit around and think about this stuff and have these ideas and have it come out looking so good is just amazing. So New York Slice, total
we're kind
package.
of crossing over into this like that thematics of the game.
I feel so hungry now.
But the component, this really is truly, Anthony, about that component and that connection to the theme, which is the value of the component in this case.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Because I do think, like, again, I do think it's great when it connects. Like we talked about the fact that you take a miniature, right? But you got to put the miniature in the right game. You could take one of those more vinyl pieces. It got to be in the right space. Doing it for the sake of doing it is not worth it. Making a big miniature for a game that doesn't need a miniature is a negative use of a component to some people, and it can impact that experience. So I think that, yeah, it's true. But when you can do it with the theme, like I said, oh my goodness, it excites me. Like I said, that's how I get about Hit Z Road. I will say, and I've said this on the channel one time, Hit Z Road is is the underrated gem that I try to show people. Like, have you ever seen this game? You can probably get it really cheap. It's fantastic though, and you would love playing it. And if you like a little bit of push your luck and challenging and you're okay with that, then yeah, like, I don't know, most edible pieces in games. Oh, that's
if you're up for it.
Yeah, I mean,
actually, I had the chocolate edition of Catan, which is pretty good.
I've joked that I'm going to eventually end up somehow with that chocolatier edition of Azul, even though I don't need it.
It's not actual chocolate though, right?
No, it should be.
Yeah,
I want like the advent calendar style, except it's just Azul with chocolate, and I'll play a game and it will be done. But that's fine. I'll take my delicious.
So Ryan, you've eaten the Catan chocolate?
Yeah, of course.
It's good. You finished it all?
This is awkward, but yes.
Why is that awkward?
I don't know. I feel guilty. Yes, I'm just crying in the corner, eating a chocolate Catan box.
We do have some good comments in here. Not actually edible, but looking edible. Honey Buzz, the squishy resin tokens.
Yeah.
Yes. The first time my son saw those, he legit thought that they were candy, and we had to stop him.
Oh,
and those Everdell berries. Those Everdell berries are great. Don't eat the wood because the wood looks awful, but the berries look good. Steam Up.
Yeah, that just came out too, right?
Right. Those dim sums.
We should stop talking about this topic.
You know, it is funny, by the way, because you mentioned theme, Anthony. I just want to point out, and this was not planned. It was only because I moved it off a shelf. But you want to talk about theme? This one actually, quite frankly, just the fact that the little cubes are the right color green, like little things like that, they go a long way.
Yeah.
Tidal Blade berries are the same color as Everdell, apparently, but in orange.
Yeah.
Yeah, chewy.
Oh, sorry.
Oh man,
my bad. That was me.
I thought I was in charge. Sorry.
No, you're right. The Potion Explosion plastic tray. Oh man, have you guys played Potion Explosion?
Only online, which seems like a travesty because it seems like I need to play in person.
Yeah, because it's a mobile game, right?
I know.
Converted into board game, and then they pushed it into mobile form again.
I know. It seemed, again, that's what I said. Like I've looked for it like on discount before because I just think it'd be fun to have.
It's
But,
cute, but let me tell you, if you're gonna do games with like marbles and stuff and plastic trays, Gizmos is where it's
Yeah.
at, for
I
sure.
figured you'd say Gizmos because
Yeah,
I know how
Gizmos
much
for
you like
sure.
Gizmos.
I bring out my copy, but I still have it sealed because I played it, but it's not my copy. I haven't played it.
Well,
But I do want to bring up a game because you guys brought up games where the components kind of match the feel of the game. And I want to talk about a game that was on you, I believe, Barrows, your top 20. Uh, and that is a game I showed you called Watergate. And Watergate, the components in this game I think are fantastic because the board itself looks like one of those like I mentioned before, like the Charlie Day conspiracy pattern board. Because all it is, it's just it's a route building game, right? But your tracks are just pieces of evidence. That's all you're doing, and you're just trying to connect to different spots. And one player is putting blocking sides, and the other one is putting the non-block sides. And I just loved everything about this game, right down to like the aesthetic of it. Because as soon as I saw the Rodney Smith teach this, I'm like, yeah, I need to play this one. And I still thoroughly love Watergate. But I am let me see. Is that yeah? I think that's everything for that component based one. Let me slide this over.
I will note that I didn't include photos of it today, and I don't have it off the shelf. But like when you talk about upgrading, but like we did before, and you talk about right components, my favorite two player game, Targi, has great components, but the base components aren't great, so you need to upgrade. So I think games like those 2-player games, when they have great components, it adds a lot of value in particular because it's a really focused experience usually with those 2-player games. So I do like having, in particular, 2-player games or anything of resource collection. So resource collection ones, I like having the right components or the better upgraded components. Robinson Crusoe, I have them because when I want to lose with good components.
I have a question for you both. Any games in your collection right now where not all the pieces are in your board game collection, but somewhere else in your house? Because I have one, and I'm gonna go step out and go get it. You guys think about it.
I guess I'm trying to think about this.
I'll be right back.
Okay, do your thing. So that's a good question. I definitely have used, I'm going to admit, there's these little sometimes use like the trays from other games in other things. Like little trays like, oh, I'm going to use this for another one. And but it's nothing crazy. And I do expect, I'm kind of with Squirrel here, I'm pretty sure Crokinole is coming off a wall.
That's what he meant. Okay.
That's what I'm guessing. Rachel, by the way, Keystone games like Parks and Caper. Yes. I'm surprised I didn't mention them. Those are both phenomenal. I was blown away when I took Caper, when I ended up buying Caper after playing it online. And oh my God, the pieces are so good. But it wasn't surprising because it's Keystone. And Parks does a beautiful job of it, also with the great inserts for them. So, that Caper insert, yes. If you have not seen the Caper insert, have you seen the Caper insert? Oh,
I have not.
It is so good. I may have to show what that looks like after Ryan comes back. I may have to go off and grab mine. I feel like I've been having fun. I can't tell you guys, I had so much fun just dumping this onto a tray. Like that was just fun. Like looking at that just made me smile. But it goes to show you like this topic of components, like it's easy to get excited about because that's part of the fun of board games is,
I'm back.
Oh.
Okay, so I keep the pieces for this game in the freezer. This is another kid's game, and it's going to look like a game that you probably saw at a mass market store and just passed on by. And that's okay, because I got it right over here. Pop-O-Matic Trouble, Olaf's Ice Adventure. Now, this is not your standard Pop-O-Matic Trouble game. Okay?
I didn't expect this.
You did not, right? But I think I've told you about this one.
You told me about it, but I clearly forgot.
All right, so in this game, you are all playing as different versions, I guess, of Olaf. So there's orange Olaf, there's blue Olaf, there's lighter blue Olaf, and white Olaf too. Uh, and the way it's going to go is you're going to take your body out. So here's the Olaf body right here. Okay. I'm going to take the little Olaf, put him on top. How's it go? Oh, I see right there. There we go. Okay. So you can see there's this body. It's kind of like different ice piece over here. I'm going to go over to our camera board. And I'm going to place Olaf right over there. Oh, part of his body already fell off. Poor Olaf. Okay. So what's going on is it's a standard kind of roll and move kind of game where the last player standing is whoever still has a part of their body left over. Okay. So on your turn, you'll be rolling dice and you'll be moving different spots and running into different hazards. Like this right here is a salt shaker. Okay. And you could pour salt on your character. And this is all waterproof, this board. And at some point, it's just going to get flooded with different people's bellies. This game is so dumb. I really love it. So yeah, if you see this game and this seems like something you might want to try, I highly recommend trying it because it is dumb in the best possible ways. Yeah.
Wow.
It's really fun. It's like 20 minutes or so.
So wait, how do you lose body parts?
So all that's left, right? Like, so you could see, whoop. So you see that's Olaf's belly. When the belly is gone, right? Olaf will just shrink on down. Like there's a little bit left on this guy, unfortunately. So you're running out of different hazards. Like one of the hazards is you have to like blow on the Olaf belly. It's so cool. Like come on. So the thing is, this is actually a reimplementation of a game from the 70s called Ice Cube. And Ice Cube was the same exact thing where you are playing as different ice cubes, going around the board and avoiding different hazards like salt, like getting blown on. There's also, I think, like that one was from the 70s, so it came with like a washer that you could put on top of like your piece to kind of like help melt it. And it's hard to find that game from the 70s because I wanted to play it because a podcast called Flip the Table, which is an awesome older board game podcast, they did a great episode on it that I really wanted to play it, but then copies were going for like almost hundreds of dollars because it's a game from the 70s that heavily involves water, so it didn't really last too well.
Of course. Yeah.
So I'm happy they actually re-implemented it in Olaf form.
That's
so
pretty
they
cool.
bring it. Yeah.
I have to bring something in, by the way, because Rachel had brought an insert up that for a game it does have great components, and that is Keeper Europe.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just to show you all, like this is what she's talking about.
Is that game trays?
Yeah, it's game trays, but like this piece is here. It's all slotted in, all nice, snugly and safe. Everything's in here really well.
So snug you can't.
You can't even open it. Yeah, is QVC gone wrong, guys?
No, it's tight, but it's good. And then in here you've got all the cards organized. There's 4 different cities, and then these pieces are quite nice. They're very light. I just want to. They're really light, but they're high quality. I wish the coins were up to the quality of this. Quite frankly, everything else in it is like great. My only complaint is these coins, but it's great. It's a really beautiful insert. So I wanted to bring that one in since it got mentioned. But yeah, that's the Caper Europe insert.
I mean, we could pivot about inserts.
No, I just
because inserts are for sure a component, right?
Yeah. Well, the reason I brought it up was because she had brought up just how nice the components and everything in that game are, and the insert too. So yeah, and I like this game quite a bit. Whether you like the games from them, Parks, this or not, the quality of the components in those games is solid. So, no question.
Well, let's pivot this conversation now to just inserts, because I mean, I feel like a lot of the games that I really like have like I either upgraded inserts. I don't want to bore the audience, but most of my 18xx games have everything all inserted and nicely inlaid, so ready to go and play as soon as someone wants to play.
Well, I'm now jealous of Rachel, by the way, because she has her inserts flocked and fuzzy, and she has metal coins.
But inserts are awesome. I mean, obviously the preferred insert are the ones that speed up the game play time.
Yes.
Certain games I feel like it's a must to have an insert for, just for that reason. Like I'm very happy when I got it for Star Wars Rebellion. We were able to play so quickly, just take everything out and play. Agricola, another one where you want everything kind of just because. Don't get me wrong, sometimes an insert can get in the way of board game setup to the point where you should just baggied everything,
Yep.
So that's why I always wonder with Caper Europe, actually, does it set up quickly, or do you think
it does help because it helps me quickly get to the city when I'm setting up the deck. So there's the 4 different cities, so I can easily get to them. I can easily pull out the shit. So it does help. And for putting it away, it makes it easy because there's only one spot to go. They're not all over the place. I'm not looking, if I'm looking for another city, if I want to go right into another game, easily just pull that bit out, as opposed to pulling out of a little baggie. I mean, it's probably not a huge savings of time, but I do think it saves time. I do think it helps quite a bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I will say, yeah, and that's, by the way, I just want to thank everyone for how active you all been in the comments. Obviously, if anyone wants to pop on with us, you're more than welcome. But it just goes to show you how much fun, as I've said before, this kind of stuff is. These components make the hobby just a joy when you get to physically pick up these items, move them around the board. We've talked about it with Oak.
Yeah,
we did a review of Oak. But speaking of reviews, by the way, before I forget, I want to make sure we take and we can come back to this, but I want to make sure we do talk about the games we played recently, because we did play some trick-taking games, and I think it's important that we do get to those and talk a little bit about 3 of them that we played. And I think the first one we played was Wicked and Wise.
Wicked and Wise was the first one we played. That's correct.
Yes.
I'm gonna get it ready because I don't want to give away my rating. It's pretty good though. It's pretty good rating.
Well, I will say I would just preempt this one with the fact that I really did enjoy all the games we played. It does, obviously some or one or two, one is going to be higher than the other 2, but I really enjoyed all of them. Like I would play any of these games again, but I'd have an order of preference for sure.
Boop. Let me zoom in a little bit.
Zoom.
So, Wicked and Wise, a review copy we were given to from Weird Giraffe Games. This game, I believe designed by Fortessa Elise, was a 2022 release, and is a trick-taking game where everyone is working in different teams. So there's going to be a team made up of a Wicked and a Wise. I looked it up after. So the dragons are the Wicked, and the mice are the Wise. The dragons are playing a standard trick-taking game, whereas the mice are going to be doing special abilities to help out their teammate in winning that particular trick. They're also going to be set out on playing different goals in the game, because what's going to happen is every round there's going to be a new goal for that particular team to go after, and if they achieve that goal, they're going to score a number of points. If they don't achieve that goal, they're going to lose half of the points that they would have gotten if they won. This was Barros, you and I. This is our second play of it, and Anthony, this was your first play of Wicked and Wise. So yeah, this was let's go ahead and talk about our play.
Well, let's first say this. Thematically, this was interesting because playing the dragon or playing the mouse it was what it was. But from a mechanic perspective, for me, I loved the fact that in this game you are playing one half of the standard trick taking game. It's either maybe some capability or the card itself. And is that a trump card? Is it not a trump card? Differentiates in this game. So one of the things I want to make sure we point out, if you didn't watch our video on this, is that there's gems in this game that do not start in the deck,
right,
but are going to start to work their way in. So the trump card does not start in this game. And that mechanic for me was just fantastic. It is not.
Those are these gem cards. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just different. And to me, I really did like that. And every game that we played, honestly, the most of the games we played in this night, I'd say fairly unique, and actually they all three of them were very unique in the way they played, but this trump mechanic was extremely unique, and it stood out to me, and it's I think one of the reasons I really enjoyed my play of this game, simply because of the fact that they didn't start in it, but when you got these in, you suddenly started to realize, oh man, there's like 6 or 7 trump cards in there, and they go up to 15.
Yeah. And there's separate 4 different suits, and you'll see these cards are multi-use, right? You have on the top area, right, the number and the suit, and that's what the dragons are primarily playing. But when it comes to the mouse player, they need to follow suit, but they also need to do the ability. They'll do the ability that's on the bottom of the card, and a lot of the times it's you hand a card over to your opponent. There's not a big like grand, super crazy kinds of abilities you'll be getting. A lot of it's just very straightforward, but they are kind of game breaking into their own degree. The other thing to note about this game, what's different from other trick taking games where you have to follow suit if you have the suit. If you have those gem cards, you could choose not to follow suit and just throw out that gem card. So that makes for some interesting trade-offs and can get you achieving those goals, which the goal cards are also really neat. There's a picture of them right here. So at the beginning of every round, the dragon player is going to get a number of goal cards. They're going to choose a couple to hand over to the mouse player, and then the mouse player is going to choose at least one of them to play for that round. And those are the ones that you're going to score points for, or lose half of the points that you were kind of wagering out there. And what's also interesting too is after every trick, the winning team gets to decide 2 things. They'll either 1, just get 2 points, or 2, grab from the mystery treasure deck, which could be awesome. It also could be not that great. Because the thing is, those treasures, they'll give you some bonuses that you can trigger that round, and just as like one-time only use kind of things. And if you get it, awesome, you get more points. And if you don't, well, and it's not like it's secret. Everyone knows at the table what you're trying to go for. There's not secret objectives. Nothing in this. Both the goals and the treasures are not secret to the other players.
It's all public knowledge, and you have to choose to tap the treasure. And the goals are out there. Anthony, this was your first play. What was that kind of first impression for you from the playthrough of this one?
All right, I got a couple of things to address here before I get to that part. So, yes, I did not spend all of my bad luck that day, because if you weren't at the beginning of the stream, you noticed that I first of all I was late because my kid took forever going to bed. Then when I finally came on, I was all choppy and stuff, and I had to reset my computer. And then my computer was doing updates, which is why it took me so long to come back. And then it came back and still was choppy, and I probably still am now. So the bad luck is here. Now, what I will say is that I agree with Dan here. I was expecting to play as both sides during the play of this game. And I kind of get why you can't, because at the end of each round, the dragon kept a couple of cards, I believe, right? Or the other way around. I forget.
Yep.
So
the mouse does.
The mouse does. But I would have liked to have played as the mouse without having to play a whole new game to play as the mouse.
Right.
The other reason I feel that way is because this is a team game, and I always feel like I'm not doing well by my teammate. Case in point, go watch the video where I majorly screwed us in the first round. And gave away like so many points because I played the wrong card. So in that aspect, it would be nice to be okay. You take the reins, so to speak. You do the traditional trick taking part this round, and I'll be the little do some actions here and there kind of thing, and then it could switch back. But I did really like it. I like that team aspect. I like that you had the choice of getting just straight up to 2 points, or kind of gambling and going for that treasure, which are all positive, by the way. But can you pull it off or not is going to be you know the key there, because then it's the one time use, then they're gone.
Yeah.
But I really enjoy this one, for sure. It's definitely different. Not an intro trick taking game by any means.
And that was our problem when we first played it.
Yeah, for sure. And we brought this up while we were playing all three games, that these, like many games, but these are very dependent on the group that you're playing with, right? Is just that's the way games are. But with the trick taking thing, especially with the team up version, you gotta have the right, you know, synchronization there, I think.
Yeah, and I think that's important. I wanted to make sure we addressed audience for this one. If you're looking at this game and you're considering it, make sure you've got friends who like trick taking, because this is not the game you're going to introduce them to trick taking with.
No.
It would be a mistake.
Yeah.
That is not saying the game is a mistake, because the game is fantastic, in my opinion. I really enjoyed this game. But to start someone who's never played trick taking before, and Ryan, you and I learned that the hard way, as you noted earlier, and this was such a better play and such a better experience that I'm glad we delayed in talking about and reviewing this one, because I think it was only fair to the game.
Yeah.
And I'm just so glad that we did that. And I definitely really like this one. If you are looking for a different take and you do like trick taking, this one's good. But I would play this with the 4. I did like this with the 4, and this is what I would play it at personally.
Yeah, and that's the thing too, because I remember when we first got it, we got it at PAX Unplugged, and we got back to our hotel, and we played in the lobby, and we were just like, okay, we'll just go through the rule book and kind of just figure out as we go along, right? Because it looks very whimsical, the art is gorgeous, it's a trick-taking game. How hard can this thing be, you know? And the weight level for a trick-taking game was pretty high.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a good. And we played with one player who never played a trick-taking game ever.
Right.
So that was, we had to get the concept of trick-taking in there on top of, okay, here are the wacky rules of this game.
Right.
And how it breaks them.
And also that we're trying to get gold. It's not just winning tricks, but it's like we're collecting gold, and there's goals, and there's a lot in it. So yeah, overall quality game. I really enjoyed this one. Components were solid for what it was thematically. Take it for what it is. It's the mouse and the dragon, and it works that the dragon wants to get this money, and the mouse, I guess, is guarding it. I suppose it works, but I don't care as much about the theme as the mechanics of this game, and this is fantastic, and I really enjoyed it. So yeah, this was a win for me.
Ratings?
How we want to do this, because normally we're all together. So let's work our way. Anthony, we'll start with you, work our way down, and then the next one we'll start with me and go up, and then do the same thing down.
Okay,
that's the best way to do
We'll go down.
Okay. Yeah. So I'll give this a 7.2.
All right. My rating was an 8.2.
My rating on this was an 8.3.
Whoa.
Oh, look at you guys.
Barrows takes the board.
Yeah, I really like this one.
Yeah.
But full disclosure, I liked them all this night. So you'll see what else I liked.
And it was Wicked and Wise.
Now
I'm just gonna pull
as you prep, I'll talk about the next one. The next one that we played was Cat in the Box.
Yeah,
and
let me hide.
We in this game are essentially in a little bit of a conundrum. A quintessential quantum trick-taking game is what this is described as by BGG, by the way. And it is a game where we have trick-taking cards just like we normally would, except they don't have colors. And what's great about this is just that fact. They don't have colors, but there's a board in front of us that we're able to ultimately start to fill in as we play. And we're going to be saying what color cards we have until we decide that we don't have any cards of that color.
Yeah.
And that's one of the cool pieces here, because At the start of each round, we're going to say how many tricks we think we're going to win. It will be 1, 3, or 4. There is no 2. Just want to stress that. There's no.
And I think in different player counts there is 2.
Yeah. We played four players. No, I'm going to talk from our experience. So thank you for clarifying that. So we played. So it depends on what you're doing, but the bottom line is, if we were doing a 4-player game, 2 was an option, 1 for your 4. Now, what's cool about this is the fact that we're going to be able to get bonus points if we get that right. But that's not the only way we're going to score points. We're going to score points also by winning tricks and also by a little bit of area control, because as we place our pieces on the board, claiming that we took a certain color with the number card that we played to try and win our tricks, we're also trying to get our pieces next to each other for a bit of area control, which is going to get us cumulative points at the end as well.
Yeah.
There is one other piece to this game that makes it really interesting, which is paradoxes.
Mm-hmm.
You may have a 7 in your hand, but there may be no 7s left. And at that point, a paradox has occurred. When the paradox occurs, you're going to lose a point for every one of the tricks you've won. Still can collect for some other things at that point, the area control, etc. But the paradox occurs, and the round, I should say, ends immediately in that moment. And so it adds a really neat level of gameplay. I have to tell you, I mean, I know this is really supposed to be around, what is it? Schlesinger? What's the cat? I can't. Schrodinger's cat. Like, thematically, that's what we're going for with this. But I love the idea of this game from the perspective of you have to make a decision of when you don't have a certain color card, so you then can go to the trump card.
Yeah.
At that point, the trump card becomes a little bit more fair game for everybody. But I really enjoy that factor in this, and the fact that you really do need to think about what cards you are in your starting hand and how you're going to play them for the area control component. So there's a few mechanics in this game that are very different. I can understand why this has been really popular, and a lot of people have raved about it.
Yeah. I think out of the 3 that we played, this was certainly the most unique, the most, twisty on the trick-taking mechanic in general. And it's cool. I don't know any other game where all the cards are pretty much uniform until you decide what you want them to be. It sounds like counterfall, right? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And but then you're right, Chris. That the whole area thing, or that's not area control really, but it's just pattern building. You try to just get a continuous, a large area on that board too. That's really cool. This was very, very different, and I enjoyed it a lot more, honestly, than I thought I was going to. I'll say that.
I enjoyed it as well too, but I've heard so much praise about it. I wanted more out of it. I wanted to play it some more for sure, and I still did like it. And I'll just preface that I of all the 3, I liked all of them as well too. Spoilers, but Cat in the Box, it definitely it's actually is a brain burning one, and you are kind of like pushing your luck more so in this one than any of the well, no, that's not true. It's the second most one I've played where you're pushing your luck. And the thing about this game is it's actually not too bad to teach too for a first time trick taking. I think I would feel comfortable showing this one to people as a first time trick taker, because I mean it screws with your head, the whole messing with the colors thing, but I feel comfortable that after a round or 2 that it will click and the people will be excited to play this one because of how many gears it's turning. And it's not like brain melting gears turning, it's just exciting. I want to see what's going to happen next. Oh, you did that. I was going to play that green 6. I like those moments in board games when other people ruin your plans, and this game is full of them.
We had a lot of those moments too, and then laughs like, oh man, I don't have any more green. Like it did bring out a lot of that. And the thing that stood out to me about this game, because I want to make sure we address this, is the speed of it.
Yeah.
It moves quick.
Yeah, it moves quick.
I feel like it moved really quick. It was the shortest of the 3 that we played, I know for sure. But that was delightful that I still felt I was making good decisions, strategic decisions, but at the same time, it also had that kind of speed to it, and it didn't overstay its welcome.
Yeah.
And that's a real pro for me. A game that you can teach, get to the table. I can play it with gamers. I can play it with family, and I overall I'm going to enjoy it. And ultimately, that we can play that game and maybe get 2 or 3 other games in, or for all I know. And so for me, this checked more than a few boxes, but the speed part I did want to bring up because it's definitely quick, and I think that's a good thing for this game. It doesn't. You can make your decisions even though there's some brain burning. I don't think it's over the top.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Wow,
Okay.
So what are you giving it?
I'll start, right? I'm starting.
Right.
We'll start from the middle. Makes
All
sense.
right. 7-9.
This was my favorite of the 3, so much that I traded Espen my copy of Verdant for this.
Wow.
And I like Verdant. I like Verdant, but don't get me wrong, this I really liked. 8.6.
Wow. That's a good rating. I'm at a 7.8 on this one.
Nice.
This
And that was Cat in the Box.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Go.
No, it was my favorite of the 3 too. Spoilers.
Whoa. It was my favorite of the 3, as you could tell. Wicked and Wise was. Wicked and Wise was the longest one too, right?
I think so. I know, Chris, you mentioned that Cat in the Box was the shortest. I kind of feel like Ghost of Christmas was not really much far off from.
It probably wasn't, and that's the next one we're going to talk about. Ghost of Christmas.
Ooh.
From formerly Board Game Tables, All Play Games now, if I'm not mistaken.
Cat in the Box, by the way, was designed by Muneyuki Yokouchi, and the copy we had was from Bezier Games.
Yes. And Ghost of Christmas, by the way, Taiki Shinzawa. I apologize for butchering the pronunciation of that, probably.
Taiki Shinzawa. Yeah, I think that's correct.
Sounds about right, but I'm sure I destroyed it all the same, so I apologize.
And that copy was from Board Game Tables.
Yes.
That we played. But
I will say, Anthony, to your question, I don't think that one was much longer. I do agree. It wasn't long, certainly. I
think the rounds in Ghost of Christmas were shorter.
I think there was a quicker feel for me for Cat in the Box, regardless. Like, regardless of the length, Cat in the Box felt like it kept moving.
All right, who wants to describe Ghost of Christmas?
Well, let's hand to Anthony. What do you want to take Ghost of Christmas?
Sure. So in Ghost of Christmas, you're going to have 3 areas in front of you: past, present, and future. It is a theme based on the Christmas Carol, and the artwork is fantastic. By the way, I really like that in this game. But essentially, this is a trick-taking game where, similar to the other ones that we talked about, you're going to be making kind of a bid about how many tricks you think you're going to take, and those are represented by those door tiles. So you'll take however many doors, put in front of you, and you can also take. So the regular doors are purple, but you can also take a red one, which gives you a little bit of a buffer zone, kind of, so that if you're off by 1, it's still all good, basically, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so you go around and play 1 card to one of those 3 time periods, and the first person that plays to that one basically sets the lead color for that time, which is what those dials are for. So if you play a red card in the present, now the present is led by red. But then when you're the next person, you don't have to play in the present. You can play in any of the 3 that you still have available for. And so it's a really interesting kind of strategic mechanic where you're looking at what everyone has out. Like, you're looking at your opponent and being like, oh, they didn't play anything in the past yet, but I know the past is green. So, they're going to have to put a green there if they have it. Or I'm going to save. I'm not going to play my future card until the last one. And there's certainly an advantage, I think, to going first in this one, or naming the lead of each section. If you do then win the trick of that time period, you'll take one of those wreath tokens and put it on one of the doors, showing that you were correct in bidding that one. And That's pretty much it.
Well, what's interesting too is that the player who ends up winning the trick
Right.
is going to start the next trick. So even if the start player started with their trick and they lost, whoever won that past trick is now going to lead the present. And if you played offsuit, your offsuit card is now going to be the lead suit of that. So if you didn't play green and ended up playing blue, well now blue is leading present.
Yeah.
And the red cards are the trump cards in this one. Just like in Cat in the Box, same thing.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
This one was interesting too because obviously mechanically we're playing cards down, but just because I play in the present on my turn, that doesn't mean when it goes to the next player and say it was you, Ryan, that you're going to play in the present. You could say, well,
Right.
nope, I'm going to go to the past.
Right.
And you really have to think about a lot of things. Plus, in this game, you are putting specifically down, obviously, how many tricks you think you're going to win, and that's it. If you don't win that many tricks exactly, nope, no points.
No points for you.
Yep.
How rough is that?
Yeah, and
coal in your stocking.
Yeah.
That's what made it really interesting to me. But like, you really did have to think about where do I want to go. There was many turns when we played this game where I said, no, I don't like that you played that there. Now you change what I have to do because I have to go to the past and do this because I can't win again. Or, like I had to set, you might have to reset the tone. And I thought that was really interesting. I mean, this game definitely had me thinking quite a bit. These were all brain burners.
This was the brain burniest of them all, I think.
Yeah. No,
and
all
it was,
three of these games you need to have change plans. Like you're not going to do everything you thought you were going to do for sure.
And in a game where literally every round you just have to decide. Sorry, every hand. They have terminologies. You have to decide how many tricks you're going to win, like just off the bat. And what a tough call, because the thing is, right? If you just do purple doors, each of your purple doors is going to score you 2 points if you put a wreath on each one. However, if you have purple doors with a single red door, all of your doors will only be worth 1 point, but you get to score if you get either exact or just one off, either in positive or negative. And you're just going to score that many number of points. And the player with the most points is going to be the winner, and you play a whole game based on the number of players. And Squirrel is right, there is an additional variant called Beyond that you can add on. We didn't put the Beyond version, though, too, where you have a fourth trick on top of it. But, we'll keep it with the 3.
Yeah, stick to the theme. The theme is loose as it is.
Well, there's a friendlier version for the bidding mechanic. I think it's called the Tiny Tim version, and that one you don't play just like this with the wagering as much. It's just how many tricks really you score when you're within a threshold. You'll get a certain number of points. But we just went right in. We went into that deep side of the pool. Well, not deepest, but deep enough.
Yeah. This one, surprisingly, I will tell you, it's probably surprising simply because I actually did pretty good in this. It was actually my least favorite of the 3, but I did like it. As I said, I've liked all of them. There was, in terms of games I wanted to go out and replay again. Out of the 3, this is when I wanted to play the least out of those. If we were to go into another game after that, it would have been Wicked or Wise or Cat in a Box. So that was kind of my way that I kind of tried to figure out how they fell. And then I went back and looked at, other trick taking games that I liked and where they fell for my rating scale. But it's a solid game. It's definitely thinky. And I don't know. I don't know if, if this sounds interesting to you, then it probably will be. I think the most interesting part is the fact that the interesting fact is that you are able to play it to any of those spaces, but it's all public information for someone else to make that decision of where they're going to go. And that's going to continue around and around and around. And your brain's going to just keep moving. What do I need to do next? What do I need to do next? And I do love thinking on my feet in a game. So this checks that box for me in a big way.
Cool.
What's your rating?
Start it off.
I will start it off. This, again, as I noted, may surprise people, but my rating on this was a 7.5. It just didn't. I didn't want to come back to as much. I would come back to this around maybe a holiday, some other things like that. But out of the most of them, yeah, it's the one I'm least likely to come back to. So 7.5 still very respectable.
Okay, says you.
It's more respectable than my 7.0.
Crossover.
Hey,
7.0 as well too. I did like it, not enough to keep it. I actually bought it online. It's like someone was selling it for like $5. I'm like, yeah, sure. Okay, I'll get Ghost of Christmas for $5, no problem. And the thing is, like, I think it's a great game to try if you like trick taking, and I think if you love trick taking, you for sure should try. Like, this is like a very meta kind of trick taking game. But I wouldn't, it does something that's interesting with trick taking, but I'm not gonna go out and suggest it with so many other trick taking games out there that kind of change up the trick taking formula.
I still go back to the crew over most games.
Oh yeah, for all three of these, the crew. Yeah.
I mean, I put the crew. The crew is fantastic. So
Yeah.
I just the latest version in particular. So, yeah. But a really great experience of all of them. Again, thank you again to Weird Giraffe Games for our copy of Wicked and Wise. So glad that we were finally able to talk about it in this way, because again, like I said, I go back to that first play, Ryan, of that game, and we talked about, do we know how to review this yet? And we said, no, we need to play it with four people and the right people. So a little later than maybe planned, but here we are, and glad to say enjoyed all three of these games, and I definitely would encourage you to check them out, try them, and see what you think for yourself.
Before we wrap up, there is a component talk that I wanted to bring up.
Sure.
What is your least favorite board game component you've played with? And I'm going to start right away with those awful trackers, health trackers that are flimsy, especially in Betrayal at House on the Hill. Those trackers are the worst trackers.
I bought the upgraded ones.
Yeah, you have to. And, like, they know it's so bad that they sold them separately. Like, get out of here with that.
Honestly, that would have probably been my answer. So I'm trying to think of something different, but that honestly is the worst thing, because it's the first time I had to. Yeah,
super tiny cardboard money. Paper money's worse than super tiny cardboard money. I'd rather have tiny cardboard. I mean, I'm thinking of like the Barrage money, right? Barrage money Barrage has a lot of really bad tiny components.
I'm like looking at my boxes here, and yeah, I'm sorry, I have to go back to what you said, that those tiles, any chintzy dials really are my issue. Or any of those, especially the ones that not only are they bad, but I have to do them myself. Like, they're poorly made, and I have to put them in together myself. Come on, like don't do that to me if they're gonna be crappy. But yeah, the Betrayal ones were awful, and I love it's well documented. I love the experience of Betrayal. Betrayal's got issues, don't get me wrong, but love the experience of Betrayal. But that part of the experience, trash. So yeah. Get the upgraded ones if you own the game and want a good experience.
Anthony?
Yeah.
What's up?
Do you have a least favorite component ever?
Ever? I don't know.
Some bad ones.
I know what it is. It's the roller coaster in that original.
Oh yeah, Coaster Park.
Well, yeah, I guess. Yeah, for sure.
Anything. Rachel's got a great answer here, by the way. Anything that has no point and falls over. There's plenty of those in games. Even like those card. If you ever have a game that comes with like they tried to give you card holders and they don't work,
topple over.
I mean, the Western Legend big box one wasn't supposed to hold cards, if I'm not mistaken, and I forget those little.
It looks really flimsy.
They don't work. You just don't bother.
I already assembled them. But
no, you can assemble them, but don't use them. Find another purpose for them.
I forgot. Now that she mentioned that, in Coaster Park, what's worse than the tracks themselves, the first player marker is this big cardboard crane. It's like it's. I would get it, but I would like have to unplug all my stuff, and I'll break the stream. But it is the most useless thing, because it is just a gigantic crane that doesn't do anything. It's just there. It's almost like they had so much extra cardboard that they decided to make something else
Oh,
to
jeez.
save on money.
Dinosaur Island did give you Pogs that I couldn't use because I didn't have a slammer. But I have no complaint about that. I sold my Dinosaur Island anyways. But
Good riddance. Heave ho, Dinosaur Island.
But look, there's a few things we need to note because we're not quite done. I want to take a moment to share some really for those who stuck around. We'll obviously share this on the Discord after the fact, but since you've stuck around, we want to give you this information. We're excited about this. We've enjoyed Call Aboard. Generally speaking, it's just such a great experience for us. And we've had some nights where we've gone 3.5, 4 hours almost. And so we wanted to keep the call-in factor going. So we are announcing now that On the Table is also going to be a call-in show, with the topic being pretty straightforward every month: the games you played that month. That's it.
That's it.
But we're still going to have a guest. They may not stick the whole time. We'll see. Depends on the guest. But we're going to go over the games we've played. We'll add some reviews in there as well. So it's more chances for us to give you some reviews of games that we've played as well. And yeah, we're really excited. On the Table officially is a call-in show. So every other week you will have a call-in show here on the Tabletop Express. And we want to continue with that. We love doing it. And we appreciate your support on that.
But with that, there's one more announcement too. And I did confirm it. It's all confirmed. So next week, on April 19th, we will have a Creators Corner. And we will have on the channel Annabelle Holland of Holland Spiel fame, as well as designer of some of my favorite train games as well. So, talk Irish Gauge. I have a bunch of her games too. I want to play. We should try to prioritize that before the stream.
Well, but that's exciting. And then we'll be the week after that, I believe we'll be On the Table at that point. So we'll be there, and what the topic right there is: the games you played. So should be fun. We're really excited about that. We've got more stuff, Creators Corner, playthroughs, all that jazz coming your way. So tune in next week. Get ready, start thinking about those games you're going to want to talk about. And we're really excited. I just want to say we are really excited about the fact that 2 out of the 4 shows per month are going to be call-in. It's a greater chance to engage with all of you. And quite frankly, it's just fun. It's just a good time. And thank you to Lauren, by the way, for commenting here, by the way, on the roller coaster, that it was indeed the worst. It was a free roller coaster, by the way, everybody, because I got that game for free and gave it to Anthony because he needed a roller coaster themed game that day. And I got a free game. I understand why it was free now. But
the new one just came out, I think.
The new one looks significantly better. I'm breaking things. But on that note, everybody, thank you for coming aboard the Tabletop Express. We appreciate you coming out. If you are not a member of our Discord and you're watching this video,
please join.
We're having some great conversations over there. If you're a content creator, we do have a promotion board, but we certainly we're lucky because all of our fellow content creators in there are actively engaging with us, and we're trying to support each other, and it's just a great time. And other than that, if you have questions about our Patreon or Discord, feel free to ask in the comments or ask one of us, and we're happy to give you the information you need. But on that note, thank you everybody for coming aboard the Express, and we'll be back with you next week for Creators Corner.
Woo!
Good night.
Good night, everyone. Am I pressing it?
You're pressing it.
Okay, I'm